Before I start this video off, I want to clarify that a lot here may not be completely accurate, and a lot of what I say is also very or could be opinion based. This is purely an educational video, and if anyone has any points for either argument or decision whether or not we should boycott, please feel free to comment your opinion nicely, very nicely down below. I'll be putting out several topics to be discussed, so with that, here's the first. So the first point is, why are people boycotting? There's no point. Firstly, I want to say that nobody that is boycotting Adore is even trying to get the company to go down, but instead we want to send a message. The message that these girls don't want to be here and we don't want to support the mistreatment that they may face for simply speaking up about that company. A bunch of people will say, well, Adore wouldn't care about a quote-unquote message, which is true, but is this for Adore or is it for the girls? Exactly. If you want to support the girls, sending a message this way would ultimately help. At least they know that even their fans understand that they don't want to be in this company. Hybe is such a big company. This is something that I've been seeing so many people say so much recently, that there's no point in boycotting due to the fact that Hybe is such a massive company with millions of dollars. However, Hybe is also an investment company, which what this means is that Hybe will invest a certain amount of money into a said sub-label, which, for example, is Adore, for promotions, and that sub-label will try to earn back the money and also earn profit for themselves. Also, I want to point out that due to Danielle's lawsuit, which Adore recently filed, they're down by $30 million already, which is why they released so much new content over the course of 3 days for quote-unquote only Bunnies Day and not a quote-unquote new concept. Which, let's be real, that was a lot of content. Newjeans won't get paid. Every time someone says this, I genuinely want to ask them literally one question. What makes you think they're going to get paid in the first place? Hybe is known for not paying their idols and mistreating them, and we don't even know how the new management of Adore is, but considering that the members just came back from trying to sue Adore and Hybe for mistreatment, it's likely to assume they probably won't pay the girls and think of it as revenge or even more of a reason to mistreat them. We also have to remember the girls spoke up about this mistreatment without money even being on their mind, and as their lawyer stated, would rather be dealing with financial issues rather than staying under Adore. Danielle said to support the girls. This is such misinformation that has been continually spread around TikTok specifically. I see so many people saying this over TikTok, mentioning that Dani said to support them and not boycott, but I literally cannot find the source, and no one will tell me where she said that. The only place that is even relevant to this claim is her Instagram post or her live, where she put a note to bunnies, and even then people are just twisting her words about at this point. This also doesn't get rid of the fact that the bunnies who are boycotting are still supporting the girls. We're just not supporting Adore, the company. Newjeans will be overworked. My response to people saying this is that Hybe is ultimately known for already overworking their idols to the max no matter what. And given Newjeans' situation, what makes you think they'll be overworked less by us not boycotting? Can we also remember that Hybe bashed Newjeans since debut and has also hated the group and has been wanting it to go down? And someone will probably ask, well then why did they just not let the girls go then and make them go back? And to this, I say it's most likely because it's a bad look on Hybe and proves everything Newjeans said, which could cause the downfall of the whole company had they not fought for Newjeans to come back. Hybe/Adore doesn't want that. They don't want a bad look on their company. If they let Newjeans go, Newjeans would have got what they wanted, and Hybe doesn't want that. They want the girls to suffer as much as possible. They'll be in financial debt. I feel with this claim, a lot of people forget that Newjeans firstly spoke up about mistreatment with this in mind in the first place. If money was such a big concern for any of the members, they wouldn't have done this. And even now, Danielle, while getting sued, is trying to live out her best life as much as possible, even though she's getting sued for $30 million. And that's likely because she knows bunnies have her back and will support her no matter what she'll go through. If it's financial debt, I'm sure bunnies will help this girl out. And if it happens to the other members, I'm sure we can all do something about that too, to support them and help them out when they need it. They chose to return. This claim in itself is ultimately just not true. This mostly comes from people who either don't know the situation or are just hating these girls for speaking up. What actually happened is, due to the court's decision, Newjeans was forced to come back and continue their contract until 2029. Why would they willingly come back to a company that mistreated them and come back to the staff that they aren't even used to? We also know this by how many times Newjeans and their lawyers have said that they don't want to go back if the new staff is there, but would come back if the old staff were. I mean, think about it. These girls were literally on antidepressants because of this. They were never mistreated in the first place. This is the argument that makes absolutely no sense to me. A bunch of people will point out, well, none of the evidence in court was enough to prove that they were mistreated. But a lot of y'all forget that the court system is just really, really messed up. Just because it wasn't enough to the court did not mean that it didn't happen, or wasn't valid. The girls got mistreated by the new company. Let me specify that. By the new Adore company. However, they have always been mistreated by Hybe. Let's list out what Newjeans went through, since you probably won't believe me. I'll even play some clips and maybe screenshots to prove my point. For example, Hani's visa status, the members' medical records, debut videos getting leaked, lack of communication from Hybe, as said by Hae here.
하이브에 소속된 아티스트 입장으로서 그러한 회사 측의 일방적인 통보는 우리를 진짜 하나도 존중하고 있지 않구나 라고 확신이 들게끔 했어요. 새로 들어오신 주영님이라는 분은 저희를 만나서 멤버들을 위한다, 멤버들을 배려한다, 뉴진스가 우선이다 라고 말씀하셨는데 지금까지 일어난 상황들을 보면 그냥 진짜 말만 하셨다는 걸 알 수 있어요. 애초에 하이브 측에서 뉴진스 컴백 일주일 전에 홍보를 도와주지는 못할 망정 대표님 배임 기사를 내고 외부에 저희 뉴진스를 나쁘게 표현했던 행동부터가 과연 어디가 뉴진스를 위한 건지 다시 한번 묻고 싶네요.
Belief management telling Islet to ignore Hani. Lack of protection for Newjeans. Danielle getting kicked out without warning with a simple email, getting sued. Source Music wanting Minji to drop out of education at 14. And there's so much more. If I didn't mention it, please let me know in the comments. I'm sure there's so much more regarding Hybe. Danielle was the only one to not cooperate. A lot of people have been saying that all the other members of Newjeans came back and Dani was the only one not to cooperate, but this simply isn't true. On November 12th, Minji, Hani, and Dani came out stating that after careful consideration, they have decided to return to Adore. This official statement disproves that she quote-unquote did not comply with what Adore said. Although even though they had to come out with these official statements regarding their return, they would have had to come back anyway, due to the court's decision. To add on, if Dani donating to charity, going to churches, running marathons, and simply being active is her not complying and her signing a new contract like Adore states, did I accidentally sign a contract by simply running? All these claims in the court about Omega, Emotional Oranges, and others have already been disproven. That Adore simply already knew about these. So what did they really kick her out for? In my opinion, I think it's something to do with race, based on the fact that she's mixed. This one clip, which I'll put on screen right now, will always break my heart, and it gives me more of a reason to believe what I just stated. Here's my claim and my final thoughts. If you're a Dani stan or you think Dani deserves justice and you support her, you yourself should be boycotting. Now this is because of the way the legal battle between Adore and Danielle is currently going. A lot of people don't realize that by consuming all the content that Adore posted for quote-unquote Bunny's Day is giving Adore data to likely show in court. Now I'm not exactly sure of this claim, but I do think that a company like Adore would really go up to the judge and bring out the fact that fans are still feeding into the media they release no matter if Danielle is there or not. Also, streaming their content could just be giving Adore money to continue funding this lawsuit. I mean, if you think about it, they are down $30 million right now. And if they don't win this lawsuit, it'll most likely stay that way. Anyways, if you stayed until the end of this video, let me know in the comments with this emoji. Also, please let me know your thoughts on this whole situation nicely down below. This honestly wasn't a video I thought I would make, considering I'm an editor and my content was going to be based on a child and such things. If you'd like to see more content on that, let me know. Lastly, there's going to be one more video I'll be making regarding Hani and her visa status situation. The leak, I mean. If it's posted, it'll be up on the screen. But besides that, thank you so much for watching and listening. I hope I changed a few of y'all's minds, and I will see y'all in another video.